And we're back. Another episode. Bruh, it's not enough time of the day. I'm getting jacked. This is my bedtime shirt. Don't mind the shirt. I sleep in this shirt all the time. Shout out to Rob. You need to drop these again, brother. This was a wave. Yeah, we're back. Another episode. I don't know what number this is. Today's back day. About to hit the gym. Monday's chest, Tuesday's back, Wednesday's legs. And I just repeat that. Sunday's my day off. I love back day. Chest day is my favorite right now. But I'm gonna talk about today, the reason why you're losing, it feels like you're losing friends, the reason why it feels like you're alone, the reason why it feels like nobody can understand you. It's because that's what happens when you're about to make, a transition to the next phase of your life, elevation, especially as a man. Usually the universe, God, Allah, He won't let the people that don't suffice or serve your purpose advance with you to the next stage, especially when He notices that you're serious and that you really want it. He's going to actually remove those things for you. Like I said, so you're supposed to be alone right now. If you are alone right now, don't take it as a bad thing. Don't let it get you down. Don't feel no type of way about it because you're built for it. He wouldn't have put you in this position if you weren't supposed to. It's just like every position He's put you in up until this point. He's never let it get too heavy. He's never let it get too hard. He's always guided you through. So you just got to have faith just like you have had before. Because I promise, it's better off, by yourself, especially when you're a young man. A man's supposed to listen, learn, and lead. And if you're truly leading, it's going to be lonely. And being a leader doesn't mean you got a bunch of followers. Being a leader doesn't mean everybody's going to listen to you and do what you say. Being a leader just means you went first, Being a leader just means you're willing to go first every time. And even if no one claps, congratulates you, or even follows you or gives you credit for, what they're doing, you just got to accept the fact that you went first and know that in your heart, why you did it and why you're doing the things you do. And everything else will fall in place. I promise you that. And all the people that either left or that you're wondering why they're not supporting or why they're not there with you on the journey, I promise they'll come back, you know what I mean? But everybody's soul and spirit is growing at a different rate. That's why it's best for you to be alone, brother, because when you're around everyone, our spirits, our consciousness, our souls, they just naturally gravitate, naturally attach and attract, whatever the collective consciousness is. So if you're around the six ducks, you're going to be the seventh duck by default, you know what I mean? And if you really want to change and lead and be like an example for your people, it's better for you to do it alone because there's not any outside entities controlling your thoughts, unconsciously controlling your thoughts, unconsciously controlling your emotions, your feelings, your behaviors. You know what I mean? It's best to be by yourself and actually create an ultimate version of yourself. You know what I mean? A lot of men, in my opinion, they don't get a chance to sit with themselves, reflect, and create like a guideline or a baseline for their life or a system for their life. You know what I mean? After high school, college, most men just get in relationships and go full throttle into going to work and providing for the wife, which is great, which is fine. But it's there's not really no foundation. Life has been men in America, we get coddled all the way up until age 21, 22, even longer if depending on the type of lifestyle or family background you have. So there needs to be a period in a man's life where he's actually alone by himself, introspecting, reflecting, the hero's journey. Most men fiend for that. Most men want that. It's in our nature to want that feeling of I went and learned these lessons and I went through these trials and tribulations and I conquered them. I freaking got the blood of a lion across my face and you're coming back to your people with the answers, with the food, you know what I mean? That's the natural, in my opinion, that's the natural state of a man. I've always felt that way. Even when I first made the mistake to stay in Gilroy and kick it with the homies, and then I ended up getting on drugs. I remember telling myself I gotta go through this because I knew I had already taken too much for granted, and I knew if I didn't go through nothing I would have continued my life that way, which is weird that I was able to actually make that conscious decision at 17, 18. I didn't know it would last as long as it did, but I remember vividly making that choice and deciding like, okay, this is what I gotta do. Like, I gotta make sure, I gotta get through this before I can get to where I gotta go next. So yeah, brother, like they're not coming back. They're not gonna understand. They're not supposed to. They're incapable of understanding. Especially if it's a girl or a woman, you know what I mean? You know, we can't control that. They don't think like we do. It's a completely different species at the end of the day. And then for your friends, your people, your boys, your homies, whoever, if you're making changes for growth, changes for elevation, like I've said in numerous videos, bro, you can't go back and, you know, try to bring them up or try to do anything. You know, either they come up to your level or you got to love them from a distance, you know, because at the end of the day, they're just going to, what's the word? They're going to distort the reality. Every time you go back down and try to be around and be a part of things you've left and things we've left in our past, you know, it just distorts our current reality. You know, we just forgive them, send them love, and hopefully one day, like, you know, our paths cross again and they could be like me. But at the end of the day, like, you just got to lead by example. You know, it's attraction rather than promotion. You can't, you know, keep throwing stuff at people and like preaching at people. Because it just turns them away from you. Most people are inherently soft, you know, no matter how your tone of voice is, no matter how you shoot it, you know, they're always going to take it as, they'll usually take it as a put down because that's just where they're vibrating at. They can't really see anything as a positive or a pull up, you know, so that's why you just got to continue on your path. And hopefully the hope is that, you know, the way you move in your program, you know, attracts them and this conversation is then sparked and they ask how you did it. But brother, they're not supposed to be there. That's why they're not there. You know what I mean? There was no one with Jesus for months, years. There was no one with Muhammad for months, years. You know what I mean? All the greats have done it. You know, it's your time. You got to continue. But I'm just here to, you know, give you confirmation that, like, you're supposed to be alone, bro. Like, don't trip. Like, don't even trip. Like, it's all going to work out. I promise you, bro. Like, you just got to continue to have faith, just like you've had faith this whole time. It got to this point. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, it's not meant to work out. He's created something way greater for you. So don't even trip. There's no point to ever even trip. No matter how ugly or messy the situation gets, you know what I mean? I've been through some messy situations and done some messy things in my life. And they've all, with time, fixed themselves. Every person who's ever hated me loves me now. Every person I've ever done wrong, most of them I was able to, you know, make an amends and we're cool now. Like, at the end of the day, like, that's just how life works, you know what I mean? So I'm promising you and I'm confirming that if you feel alone and it feels like you lost all your friends and it feels like no one understands you and it feels like you're the only one doing it, it's because you are, but it's because you're supposed to. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. It's going to work. This is just a part of the process. He had to remove those things from around you so you could fully become exactly who you are. And once you become exactly who you are, you're going to attract exactly who you need to be around. And those are going to be your people. That's going to be your community. But never forget where you came from. You know, never take that away from where you came from. You know what I mean? But until you're at until you're in your most optimal state, it's best to not go back around because not everyone down there cheering for you is cheering for you to win, brother. You know, not everyone you've been across and came across, even if you've done nothing wrong to them, not everybody wants to see you win, bro. You know, you winning hurts people's feelings. You know what I mean? You winning makes people feel less about themselves. You winning reminds people about the things in themselves that they never tried, they never attempted. So you got to protect your energy. You got to stay cautious. You got to stay vigilant out here because they'll come with smiles. They'll come with, you know, batting eyes. But at the end of the day, brother, it's just you. It's like the end of that one song on the new Drake album. He said, some of us are in it together. Some of us are in it for ourselves, but regardless, we're in it. You know what I mean? So it's up to you as a man, especially, brother. You got to stay vigilant. You got to stay cautious. You got to stay precautious. You know what I mean? You got to do it for your last name. And if you got siblings, you got family still, you got to do it for them. Then at the end of the day, we're all going to have our own family. So it's like, what kind of man do you want to be for your family? How are you going to lead? You know? And I promise you, those dudes that were around you, those females that were around you, they weren't going to do nothing for the progression of the goal, the progression of the mentality, the progression of life. You know what I mean? They were just hindrances. They were lingering. You feel me? They were dead weight at the end of the day. That's why the universe removed them, you know? So, this is exactly why you're alone. This is exactly why you feel like that. But it's all good, bro. Trust me. Just keep going. I promise you, just keep going. It's all going to work out. But they're going to get mad it worked out. And then you keep going again. Then you forgive them for getting mad and love them even harder, and you keep going again. Forgive them for getting mad and not listening. Love them even harder and keep going again. At the end of the day, this is the homie Ray. I'm still down. I'm going to stay down. Follow me on Instagram at staydownfit_Ray. Follow my podcast page. I got a lot of dope stuff coming. And thank you for all the support and constructive criticism. I can't say it's negative because my life is way too positive to see anything as negative. I truly love you all. Everybody who watches, everybody who views, everyone who hasn't viewed yet. I love you when you get here. Everybody who's left, I love you when you get back. Everybody who's done me wrong, I forgave you already. And we're out.